Now on Facebook and Steam and YouTube and Twitch. I'm going to verify that's the case.
Yeah, the Twitch.
Yeah, we're going to be coming in here shortly. So we're here today for the we're officially live, guys, so be aware of that. Hello everyone. We're 28 minutes away from the campaign start. This is campaign 182. This campaign is going to be unique because it offers at least a starting point, I think, because the Axis community, as you know, has been battling the Tier 0, Matilda. It's been a little bit brutal. I'm multitasking too, so sorry for my random interruptions. Just trying to get some more people to join us here. There we go. That's better. Anyway, so the Panzer Jaeger 1, we're going to look here at the README. This is the new version of the game that was just released yesterday. This says April 2nd, but this is when the README actually deployed. So let's just go through it. If you're aware of this, if you read it, sorry in advance. We're going to repeat a little or just refresh your memory because it's important. This campaign is going to be starting off with some unique stuff, and should be good. So first and foremost, right out the gate is the Panzer Jaeger 1. This is to be our Matilda killer, if you will. It can kill a lot of heavy tanks on the Allied side in Tier 0, if not all of them, including the Char. It is an exposed top vehicle, so be aware of that. If you're playing German, you need to watch out for aircraft. You need to watch out for machine guns. And whether that's like an LMG, you can get shot in the back by a rifle. You can't get knifed. You can easily get sapped. So there's a lot of other things going on. You just got to be careful with that vehicle. If you were there for intermission testing over the last 24 hours, good job. If you weren't, ask those guys what to do. You should not be driving the Panzer Jaeger 1 directly at the enemy. That is a horrible idea. If you're thinking, I'm going to go head-to-head with a Matilda, you're going to get smoked. Just saying. Not a good idea. Don't do it. It's a great vehicle that's capable of penetrating their armor based on where you hit. You can't just point and shoot and hope for the best. That's not how anything in World War II Online works. So be aware of that. Enjoy yourself. It's very small. You can hide it. It's very quiet. It's hard to hear. And it's light and it's nimble. And again, it can be easily killed. It can take a few hits. You know, it's not like, a paper tank. But it is a lightweight, small vehicle that has a huge gun on it. Does not have a whole gun or anything. Anyway, I think I've beat the bush on that one. Panzer Jaeger 1. Also, we made it available for premium subscribers only. This is not a free-to-play weapon. Premium subscribers as well as the All-Army subscription can access this. Of course, our appreciated hero builders and such can as well. That's part of the premium plan that you have. Rank 5. We made it so that even if you get a subscription, you have to have a little bit of rank. So be sure you have sufficient rank for that. You got to be rank 5. We did that because that's sort of the max rank we put vehicles at. We just want the best people using this gun. They got to be a little experienced. Day 1 green tag, probably not a good idea. All right. And that, by the way, this is our roadmap delivery section, so that's pretty great. That's a big one. The next major one we would say is for the bomber pilots. You can now select your desired bomb payload based on the conditions of what we have. So basically, if we'll have predetermined loadouts for you that are what we had available. They are historically accurate as well. We have them for the Heinkel, the Stuka, the Ju-87B, that is. We have them for the Boston, the DB7, and the Boston 1. So the cool part is about loadouts is that now they're going to be available for... It's not just for bomber pilots. It's starting out that way right now. But I'm saying the functionality, now that we have it in the game, we can actually utilize it for any other vehicle type if we want going down the road. So in the future, we can say maybe tanks have this amount of munitions of this kind or this amount of this kind. But it's all predetermined by CRS. You can't, unfortunately, pick and choose that. Some people have asked, hey, can I manipulate my fighter pilot's or my fighter aircraft's belt ammunition or ammunition belt? And the answer to that is no. CRS will determine what those loadouts are. But for what it's worth, today marks day one of a very long awaited request being fulfilled into a campaign experience. Bombers can select their loadouts. And we chose the bomber pilots specifically because it's been a while since they've received a new bomber. We really wanted to emphasize and give them some of that flexibility. Okay. Now, another great one. This is good for, speaking of pilots. Have you ever been on a mission where you completed your task at a particular target, but then you couldn't communicate with the guys at the new target? You fly from one AO to the next. Well, as of now, not any mission leader, regardless of branch, can change your mission target on the fly. And in fact, it will also change your target channel, which means you can communicate with people at a, say, defensive objective for a while, and then if you get transitioned to a new attack objective or whatever, you can change your target and be part of those communications, see their reports on the map, and have a bearing for your waypoint of the target. That's a big deal.
Can I break in here?
Sure.
Some of my friends that fly say when they do that, they cannot see the marks on the map.
Okay, well, we were supposed to, but in any event, another good benefit for that being is for mission leaders on the ground. Say, for example, you want to deploy your mobile spawn at one spot, and then you realize maybe later in the battle you want to deploy it to another. Now you can do that. Maybe you were on a attack mission for a town, but now you need to make it for, attacking an FB, and it's within the same zone. You can do that. So, pretty exciting. The next one is the heads-up display, elements opacity. Your chat bar, your navigational map, and other items. You can now, through your preferences, manage your heads-up display, your HUD, and make the opacity or transparency through a sliding bar very easily without having to restart the game where you want it. You do have to be despawned, but you can modify that now, which is great. So check that out, because although it sounds very small when you read it and the way I'm saying it, maybe you don't get it yet, but once you see it, and if you desire better situational awareness, that's a really important thing. Since we're on voice comms, I'm going to encourage, do we have any AMD users on channel? Anybody?
Yes.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I think. I use an AMD CPU.
Okay, yep, you'd fall in. Have you guys noticed, since downloading this new patch,
Yes.
improved load-in times? And if so,
Really, really fast. Compared to what I had before, very fast.
so Blood and Gut, when you were loading in before, how long did it take you?
8 minutes.
And now what does it take you as of this patch?
About 2 minutes.
Okay. It's a pretty dramatic difference. Anybody else have an example like that?
12 minutes to 1 minute 45 seconds.
Wow. Anybody else?
That's what I said.
So, Pre-71 from the Whip Squad said his went from 11 minutes and 50 seconds to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So there's a lot of stuff in World War II Online. We realize the graphics are not like, the premier AAA status, but there's a lot of things being loaded in the game. And so when we say up to 50%, that kind of sounds like the minimum. Sounds like we have people at a much higher rate than that. So that's wonderful. Good stuff. I'm going to allow you guys to read this. I don't want to ramble necessarily, but there's a lot of new features being added. It should be noted that for this patch, the EWS range for trucks was increased from 700 meters to 1,000. This is going to alert defensive forces to be more ready. World War II Online really is intended to have maneuver warfare, but also to facilitate combat action in a combined arms fashion, and therefore we were kind of concerned that we went too far with the 700 meter mark. We wanted to be able to ensure that we had not only the defenders a heads up, because atypically defenders are the ones who are going to benefit from that, and they're typically underpopulated. That's what I was trying to say. So yes, we want that to happen. If the ninja stuff isn't really ideal, it doesn't facilitate quality gameplay that we're looking for, and we've determined that. But the Dial River was added around Brussels. When you log into game, look around Brussels to the west and east side. I'm intentionally not logging into the campaign right now because Ohm is configuring campaign deployments. Let's check in with him. Ohm, how are we doing on the campaign right now? We almost ready? Ohm, you there?
Yep, just had to find the little unmute. Yeah, I got the countdown going. In 2 minutes, we're going to go from maintenance to lock to allow players to start loading up and the officers to start making their moves on the movable units.
Cool. Awesome.
And then 15 minutes after that, we start the campaign. At 10 minutes, I'll start my 10 minutes and counting.
If I can jump in, just one comment about the fantasy of jumping from 2-story and not really getting hurt at all. Thank you for doing that.
Yep, that was all sniper. We've had some people go, "Are you kidding me?" But yeah, well, that's good. It's not realistic to jump from a 3-story building and not really screw yourself up. So be careful. You should be able to jump out of the back of the depot and be okay. Has anybody tested that?
Not yet.
Okay. Should be okay.
I have. You do lose a little bit of health, but not a lot. Also, when I'm in the depot, when I first spawn, when I'm running down the stairs, I suffer a little bit of damage when I hit the ground on the stairs.
Yeah, you do coming out of the AB vehicle spawn too. If you get down to the back of the stairs, it'll make you lose a little bit of life. Not much, but a little.
All right. That's to be expected to some degree.
A centimeter off your red gauge when you come down the stairs.
Okay. All right. Another key feature here, a major bug fix for HE shrapnel was resolved. As I said the other day when we released this, I'm anticipating that the Luftwaffe, their HE cannons, they're predominantly HE, might do more damage. Keep a lookout for that. We had a major problem with HE, so we had to disable some functionality for a while. That problem was some HE was so significantly powerful that it was actually penetrating armor. So, say a British Bofors could fire at a Tiger tank and just pop the top. It was not good, so we had to disable it. This is the first campaign experience starting today with this back on. And we've done some pretty rigorous testing. We think it's going to go smooth. Let us know. If you're infantry standing next to a tank and somebody, like a gun, fires an HE round at it, instead of it disabling, it should blow that shrapnel back at you as well. So be aware of that. And if you're in that position as a gunner and you see infantry, definitely use your HE round. It should definitely do some more work.
On the lines of that, I play sapper a lot and I sap a lot of tanks. When I put my charge on, okay, I normally go to the opposite side because the blast is forward. Will that still be the same?
Let us know. Go and experience it. Let us know what you see. Should have increased performance with the game due to a massive audit of added textures. Some new textures for buildings particularly, where and this kind of falls in line with the several buildings had their LODs fixed as well. We added some newer buildings. They weren't necessarily to specification in some of the respects. Those are things we caught after the fact. So we've refactored quite a bit of it, and it should mean increased performance, especially for lower end users. The A20 will now trigger bomber EWS. A-20 belly gunner no longer fires while undeployed. Airspeed indicator for the A-20 adjusted for maximum vehicle speed. The H-75 prop was overperforming. This has been reverted to historical and correct value. The U.S. M3 ATG, anti-tank gun, now has third-person audio when it fires. That was a major oopsie, so you can hear those guys now. The U.S. GMC truck audio level was a bit lower than its counterparts. That's now been adjusted to be about the same level, so you should be able to hear it later. Matilda Mark II, if you don't know, its commander now has the ability to fire smoke chargers. Very cool. I was using those quite a bit during testing. It's a one-off. You only get one shot, but if you're under fire and you got to get out of there, go to your commander, hit the trigger, and smoke chargers will deploy around you and give you a screen to get out of dodge. The Stug 3G MG34 gunner. Its levels of details, that's what LOD is, updated and is now killable at longer range. SPA personal decal issue resolved. That's the little thing that says, like, if you're a part of a convention or some sort of specialty badge on your vehicle, that's what a personal decal is. And some missing textures on the road were added. We also have several terrain fixes. I won't get into too much of them, but every time that you guys see something goofy with terrain, whether there's a set of buildings underground or there's clipping points or there's a tree in a building, when you type .bug and let us know about that, our guys go to work right away to not only documenting that, but also fixing it. So this is all credit to your guys' reports. Thanks for doing that.
And that would be with a .bug?
.bug, yes. .bug are for technical issues. .report is for the community managers to hear you rage. I mean, to report community problems. But you guys wouldn't rage, right? That's not you.
Sometimes when I see AI that will not go up, I use the .bug.
Yeah. Makes sense. Let's see. All right, cool. Let's log in. Is it locked now for people to start joining?
It says
Yes,
locked.
it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's green but locked. Yep.
Okay, so you guys should be able to now, if it says locked, join the campaign. Just click join now. It'll say locked, but you should be able to get in no problem. Let's take a look. If you're
Zoom, just a quick question. When is the Panzer Jaeger available from? What tier?
right now, tier 0. It was intentionally put for it's a tier 0 weapon.
I don't like being exposed. I'm a tanker. I don't like being exposed.
Yep, so I'm checking supply right now. There it is. Panzer Jaeger 1. And in a 1AB town, there is 3 of them available.
Is there I noticed parasites in the channel. Is there a place to sap it? Or where would you sap it?
What, the Panzer Jaeger?
Don't tell him. Don't tell him. Zoom, don't tell him.
Oh, I can't tell him. Its armor is relatively light. You guys will have to figure it out, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be too hard. You know, I mean, just look at it. It's not a huge vehicle. Look at the size of it compared to that bush.
It's got a nice gun, but it's quite weak armor, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So HE would I don't have to waste the heat on it.
If you had a shot from its rear, totally. An HE
Well,
round.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
satchels? No, HE doesn't penetrate armor, dude. You know, if you put an HE satchel on his back where his crew is, maybe the fragmentation. But in terms of penetrating armor, HE satchels do not do that. But because it's got an exposed rear,
I understand that. I've never seen what this looks like or whatever. So okay, heat somewhere on it.
well, here I'll spawn it in. Why not? Spawn it in. Just a sec.
Hey Zoom, we're still looking at your browser.
Still looking at my browser. What? Sorry.
Midget phone.
That's interesting. Why is it doing that? Oh, that's because it's on Discord. I'm sorry. On the actual live stream, it wasn't. Hold up. All right. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So it's kind of hard to tell. I'm inside of the vehicle. This is the. Let's see. This is the commander point of view. I'll try and get it out of the way. Just waiting for that engine to turn on. Okay. So this is the commander position. I'll hit O for open. I'm going to go up. Okay, so you can see there's no top, right? And then he's exposed from the rear. So if you try to put a satchel, HE, high explosive satchel, somewhere back here, the likelihood of fragmentation, it'll fly forward and then probably bounce off of this armor, creating a horrible death experience for the people on board. But you can also just shoot him with a pistol. So you can do that too if you're a sapper.
And from the rear, you can shoot the guys that are exposed from the back of the vehicle anyway, can't you?
Yeah, that's what I just said. Totally. I mean, there's nothing to stop it.
Yeah, of course, because that's historically what the vehicle did.
Yeah, it didn't have a... It's just a big gun with an armored plate around it. That's it.
Yeah. So, Axis, you need to make sure you got infantry or some sort of MG support that's looking after these Panzer Jaegers if you want to get the Matildas out of the way and the Chars.
Yeah, the worst thing you could do, like, you should be on the flanks of town. You shouldn't be going down Main Street with this. You're going to get smoked if you do. You don't want to go head-to-head with it, any heavy vehicle with this.
Yeah.
Lighter ones, maybe, but even if you have your commander popped up, yesterday we were testing, I could easily machine gun your commander. Easily.
No, yeah, I'm just thinking of the worst scenario that we all bum rush fucking Panzer Jaegers into an AP.
Exactly.
It's going to be a disaster.
Absolutely. And this slit here is very minimal. Look at the size of the armor. It's not much. So if you leave your guy open like this, machine gun to the face. Done. This is about normally where you see the hull gunner if I was shooting at it. So anyway, let me show you guys the mission target change. On your left here, info, search a city, all that you see here. This is normally where you go to create a mission. But this, with the red one, that's new, so pay attention to that. This is where you go to modify your target. So this is, I'm going to click here on Arlon. Alright, so you can see currently it's Martelange. I click Arlon. I'm going to click here. See that? It updated. Edit mission.
5 minutes to campaign start. 5 minutes.
Okay, and you see the target? It changed now. So that's how you change your target. And there's a good view of it right there. Very exposed.
Use it wisely.
So this is where you go to adjust your heads-up display. You go here to Preferences at the upper right. Over here, down to HUD Windows. Then over here where the HUD Transparency is, this is where those selections are. So HUD Elements, Chat Box, Minimap. If you want it more transparent, put it this way. If you want it less transparent, go that way. So I have my minimap a little bit darker because it was really hard to see when it was over here. You see my chat box, how clear it is? I'm going to make my chat box full just to show you guys the perspective. So I got to spawn in to do that. See how dark that just got? The chat bar? Can't see out of it at all. That's down here. So this whole black space just filled in. Now I'm going to reset it so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay, so keep an eye on it because it's going to change fast. See the difference? Well, hopefully you could.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference.
I love it.
Yep. And so these are the elements. These things over here. This is your chat bar. This is elements up here too. And this is your mini map. So you're going to have an option to change this, or these elements. And then finally, I'll show you quickly how to do the bomber loadout stuff, and then we'll close out and get ready for the campaign. If you haven't already logged in, it says locked. Just jump in there and do it. So I'm just going to show you guys the German ones. It's easier, but the functionality is the same. So you reserve the aircraft. Loadout 1 is the historical one that we've always seen in World War II Online until today. Then there's a Loadout 2. If you want it, you just select it. You don't have to hit save or anything. It's going to know. It's going to save that information on your side. Okay. Oop. If you want the Stuka, that 500 kilogram bomb is a frickin' beast. It's ridiculous. As a reminder, the supply does not change based on these loadouts, so we've made no supply adjustments at all. Any questions?
No, it looks good.
All right.
Hey, on the side, sorry, Zoom. Is going to be posting the campaign start info, the one-page sheet, like the last time with timers and everything?
Oh.
It's all the same. All the same. I already told Blackhawk earlier today. So you just got to post it.
Okay, thank you.
If you're not yet in game, it's time to start rolling in. While we're waiting just a sec, I'm going to show you a couple terrain features. This is Brussels. Never before has there been a river line over here. You'll see Leuven is now a naval town. And then over here to the west side of Brussels as well. So this is called the Dial River. This was a historical river. Another key feature is between, and this is really important at the campaign start, be aware of this. Right here, there's a new bridge. It's called a causeway, the Welkeren Causeway. This is destroyable, it is defendable, but as of the campaign start, you can get across. There's still no forward base link or anything like that, but I suspect some interesting battles to take place here at this bridge. You cannot get destroyers or troop transports through it. You should be able to get fair miles, maybe trawlers, can't say for sure. But it's going to be interesting, so watch out, Blissingen. And watch out, Gravenpolder. Again, still no tanks in this area, unless you ferry them across. Any questions about that? Okay, great. Are we okay? Campaign is unlocked, guys. So if you're not in already, you're a little behind. Get in the campaign. Good luck. Have fun. Thanks for watching. Go let your buddies know. Get to your channels. The presentation is over, and thanks for joining us. Hope it was informative and interesting.
Thanks for your work.
Yep.
No, cheers, Zoom. Thanks for your work, man. Thank you.
Thanks to all of the guys who made this possible at CRS for sure. Let's have a great campaign, guys. Good luck. Panzer Jaegers, don't go head to head with a Matilda. You'll die. Not a good idea.